Hey, Low Mountain Lions, Mr. Lee here, ready to talk to you about all things bicycle safety. This upcoming week of May 4th through 8th is actually the kickoff to Walk and Bike to School Week from a Distance 2020. So this year looks a little bit different. For more information on that, though, check out the website walkbiketoschool.org. I'll post that link on our Workout of the Week page for this upcoming week. We're here. We're in the month of May. So this month, typically in Washington State, the weather starts to warm up a little bit. Great time of the year to get outside, get your exercise, get your bikes out of storage, and go for some good rides. So I'm going to teach you about the things you need to remember when you're riding your bike, how to be safe doing it. So what are we going to talk about? Rules of the road. We're going to talk about helmet fitting and the ABC Quick Check. We'll talk about the different parts of a bicycle, and then make some connections with Greek and Latin roots and talk about synonyms. So we'll go into a little bit of literacy as well. All right, getting into our slide about the rules of the road here. Did you know that if you ride your bicycle on the road, you're considered a vehicle and you must follow the same rules of the road as cars? So, very important to remember that. One of those rules is to always ride on the right side of the road. So if you think about cars, they drive on the right side of the road. The reason we do that is to avoid collisions. So another thing you must remember is that you have to obey traffic laws and signs. So one of those examples would be if you're coming to a stop sign, okay, you must stop. Just because you're riding a bike doesn't mean you can just blow right through the stop sign. You have to stop and make sure it's safe to proceed. If you're at an intersection with a stop light, you need to stop at the red light, wait until it turns green, and then proceed if it's safe. Another thing that you need to do as a cyclist or somebody riding your bike on the road is to use hand signals. Okay, so we use hand signals in the same way that cars use blinkers or cars have brake lights. So basically using your hand signals, but also saying what your intentions are. Okay, so another thing you want to remember is to wear reflective clothing. Okay, wear bright clothing. Thinking about neon yellow, neon green, bright pink. Okay, and then those reflective clothings. Reflectors that when light hits, it reflects off so cars can see you easier. Stay away from those dark colors, navy blues, black. When you're wearing those colors at night, it's really, really hard for cars to see you, and then it creates unsafe situations. So wear those bright, reflective clothes when you're riding your bike. All right, getting into hand signals, okay? Like I said earlier, hand signals are used on bikes in the same way that cars use blinkers or brake lights. So it lets other people around you, cyclists, vehicles, pedestrians, know what your intentions are. So first hand signal we're going to talk about is a left turn. So what you do for that is you put your left arm straight out and you also say turning left. Making a right hand turn, you've got that left arm out, but now it's straight up and you're saying turning right. And then if we're stopping, we put that arm down. We say slowing down, stopping, okay, letting those around you know what you're doing. And then someplace it's okay, you can put a right arm out, and that can also signify a right hand turn. So just remembering to use those hand signals, let everybody around you know what you're doing. As a cyclist, you want people to see you, okay? You want to make yourself known. So some things you do to make sure that happens, those bright clothes, and then making sure you're using your hand signals and then your voice. Okay, so talking about helmet fitting, there's a few things we're looking for. Eyes, ear, and mouth. Okay, so with our eyes, we want to be able to look up and see the brim or the front of our helmet. Okay, you don't want your helmet so far back that when you look up, you can't see that. You also, what you're going to be looking for, 2 fingers from the top of your eyebrow to the bottom of the helmet. Okay, that's helping you know that your helmet's down flat enough, sitting low enough on your head. The strap should form a V around your ears, not touching your ears or covering them, forming a V. And those straps come down around underneath your mouth and should fit snug. Okay, not so tight to where it's uncomfortable or hard to breathe. and not so loose that it's just hanging down. So nice and snug underneath your chin. And then your helmet should not wiggle around a bunch. If it's wiggling around too much, might be a too big of a size of helmet, or maybe your chin strap's not tight enough. So a couple things to look for there. All right, so ABC Quick Check is, like it says in the word, in the name there, a quick way to just make sure your bike's safe to ride. Okay, so some things that happen when you store your bike for a few months at a time, maybe you don't ride during the winter months very much, you might lose tire pressure. Your brake pads and levers might loosen up a little bit. Your chain and crank might get a little messed up as well. So you just want to do this ABC Quick Check to quickly make sure your bike's in good shape to ride. So what are we looking for with air pressure? We want to make sure our tires have enough air in them. So you can check your front tire by pressing down on the handlebars. Check your back tire by pressing down on the seat. And what you're looking for is the tires to bubble out just a little bit. And what that lets you know is there is plenty of air in there. If they bubble out too much, if tires bubble out too much, then that's telling you need to put more air in your tires. What are we looking for? Brake pads and levers. We want to make sure that there's enough rubber on the pads to help your tires stop. And then with the levers, we want to be able to pull the levers and make sure they're tight enough that they're not going to go all the way to the grips or handlebars. What you're looking for is actually about a thumb width between the lever and the handlebars. And then you want to check the chain, make sure it's on properly and you're able to move your pedals and have the chain work properly, and then make sure that your crank is plenty tight. So really important ABC Quick Check, keeping up on that. All right, looking at the different parts of the bicycle, just want to zero in on a couple. As you can see, there's a ton of different parts of the bike. Looking here at the mouse cursor, we've got brake levers, we've got the handlebars, we've got our front tire and our rear tire, we've got the crank, we've got pedals, you've got your chain right there. Okay, so those are those things that you just want to check and make sure are all in proper functioning form there. You've got your brake pads there in the front and then also in the back. Brakes help you slow down. All right, let's make our literacy connections here. We've got Greek and Latin roots. A root is the beginning of a word. So when we look at the word pedestrian, you'll see that ped, P-E-D, is at the beginning of the word, and that means foot. Okay, so if you think about using pedals, okay, what part of your body are you using? You're using your feet. Okay, it makes sense. And then we're looking at the word signal. Okay, signi means sign. Okay, so when you're using your hand signals, you're actually signing to those around you what your intentions are. And some synonyms. Okay, so remember that a synonym is a word that means the same as another word. Okay, so if we look at pedestrian, a synonym for that would be walker. And then a synonym for quick would be fast. And I'm sure you can think of other synonyms for the word quick as well. All right, so we're at the end of our PowerPoint presentation here. I hope you've learned about how to be safe riding your bike. Make sure to check out my other video going over helmet fitting and the ABC Quick Check. Hope you can get outside this upcoming week, ride your bike. If not, get some exercise. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful week. I miss you all. Have a wonderful week ahead.